Hello again YouTube, it's Mr. Analytical here, and it's been a long time since I've had a wee video on, but I've just got a wee bit more organised with my kit and back to do another series of videos about the Gear smartwatches. So I'm still using the Gear S3 and it's been a really great watch for me. I've found it very useful and loads of fun. You've seen my other videos, I'm sure, about any different issues that have came on and what we've done so far to get around those. But I'll just have a quick flick through the screens that I'm using at the minute in the Watchfaces, just to give you a bit of an idea what's happening since. You'll notice I have a different phone than before. So I'm now on the S7, the standard S7 without the edge. And if you were buying one, I would recommend the one with no edge, because this is the Samsung Edge. So you can see it's rather shattered. Twice I dropped it, twice I broke it. And a new screen is £250, so this is now my dedicated drone phone. I use that to fly my little DJI Spark. I'm sure you've maybe seen that other wee video. Whoops, open it upside down, a wee DJI Spark, which is loads of fun. So yeah, I'm on the S7 Edge and I've put on this Spigen, it's an OtterBox, and it's probably, here you could say it's overkill, but it actually is protecting my phone. You've got this rubber layer around the outside which you can take off, and then the case is like a two-part that actually covers the phone. So you can actually see though that there's a wee bit of dirt gets in through this little cutout on the bottom, and you can find that that can be an issue, but you just take it apart once a week and give it a little clean. You can see it needs a clean now. You can see the dirt in behind it there. So you just need to give it a clean every so often, so that's dead on. So back to the watch, which you guys are interested in. We've got some interesting watch faces. We've got this one with a big massive digital. So I'll just actually go over and turn on Flaunt. And Flaunt is a little app, as I'm sure you all know, that keeps the display on for 30 minutes, and that'll just help me, rather than turning it off and on, as I try and show you some of the features that I've been using. So in terms of watch faces, we've got this one called Digit Face, which is pretty cool. And if you ever wanted a skeleton watch, there's lots of them on the store that actually don't move, and the internals don't move. But if you look at this one, have a look at that, it's got moving gears inside, which is really, really cool. So it's probably the colours they could have picked, you know, maybe better, instead of this yellowy hands and things, and maybe could have picked better colours, but it's the first watch face that I find that has the moving internals, so that's really cool. That one's called Skeleton Animated Realistic, so that certainly is. Still really like the dark brown one that I did a little video on, and there's dark browny and there's dark browny red. So that's dark browny red, and then really just stick to some of the standard ones. Pretty much I use this one quite a lot as well, which is just straightforward, big digits. It has the date and the percentage of the battery and so on. So that's just a couple of the watch faces I'm using. The main changer or game changer on this watch for me, this is going to sound really stupid, but is this alarm system. This alarm, basically you can have it and it'll vibrate on your wrist without making any sound. So if you do have a partner that's not getting up until a later time, then basically you won't waken her or him. So that's a really good feature. So to do that, you can, when you're setting the time, you just set the time, swipe over, pick the days that you wanted to go off on, and then when you go to here, you'll see sound, and it'll have all the different beeps and so on that you can have. You just set that to mute and the vibration on, and you can change the different vibrations, but just keep it on basic. So that's dead handy to have. and then your battery percentage, as you can see there. So yeah, as I was saying, I can use the alarm is pretty handy because you can have several alarms for typical times when you do have need of an alarm. So you could have it there for, you know, the time I get up in the morning each day, and then you can have a different time for weekends and so on. The little task lists are handy too, and I have recently, because I changed to this phone, when you're moving from one phone to another, typically you lose all the settings. So I did discover that there is an actual backup function available. So if you go into your Samsung Gear app, and you need to be connected obviously to the watch, and hit settings there, and if you go right down to the bottom, you see About Gear, and you just press on About Gear. Oops. And that'll bring you up into this menu, and you'll see on here there's actually a setting for backup and restore. So you just click on backup and restore, and you can have it automatically back up and so on. So you've got auto backup, you can put that on, that it'll back up every 24 hours, and really this is what I'm hoping is that will stop me losing all the settings that I've set on my watch, because you'll see before I had the app widget on there. And the app widget, basically when you program it, if I just go to add a widget, and if this is the app, so the app widget, you click on the launcher here and it puts that on your screen, and you can set all these to different programs. So for example, you could have the phone on there, just press on it and select an app that you'd like to use. So for example, the phone, and that'll put phone. So you set up the phone, and you can set up all these different pluses. Each of those indicates a shortcut location that you can place, say messages, calculator, stopwatch, timer, you know, speedometer, whatever you want can go on here. But the issue then is when you come from, you smash your screen, you need a new phone, you get a new phone, and you connect the gear as you would expect to the new phone by going into settings. And the issue that you have is that you basically lose everything that you set up on that. So typically you'll go and connect to a new phone here. So up to now, every time I've done that, all the settings have been lost. So what I'm hoping is that if I use this backup data, just press on backup and it'll do backing up there, and then you can use restore data to restore your apps. And the other thing to bear in mind is that you can still get your apps. Your apps are they're never lost. You've bought them and they're stored in your device, so, or on your phone, sorry. So if you click apps here, this shows you all the apps that are on your watch at the moment. So that's all the apps I have on the watch right now. But if there's apps that you had previously, before you changed phone, to get access to those, if you go down to the bottom and go to Samsung Galaxy apps, which you can see at the bottom there, press on that and it'll open up the Samsung Galaxy App Store. Now if you want, you don't have to go and search for every app that you ever used and try and download it again. So hit the top, up at the top corner there, you'll see 3 little dots. So if you press on those, you'll see it says there My Apps. So if you press My Apps, and then you'll be able to see all, and that'll be a list of all the apps that you've had for your gear That's all the apps you've had for your gear, and they'll all be in there. So you've no need to worry if you do move phone and lose. So for example, if I previously had, you know, all-in-one analog and it isn't on the phone anymore or on the watch anymore, I would just go in here and it would be in this list. So that's all the apps that I've ever downloaded, and you can obviously delete and so on in here. So that's just useful to know. I've had some comments where guys have changed their phone and suddenly all their apps are gone, but this is where you find them. So just to recap, that was back in the App Store for the gear. Hit the top 3 icons, go to My Apps, and you'll see a full list there. So guys, that was just a quick video to say hello again, and I'm going to be posting a few more because I want to discuss the new gear that's coming out and potentially look at pre-ordering that. And so of course guys, as usual, just comment if there's anything else you're wondering about. Just comment in the section below and subscribe, and we're going to be doing a few more of these videos now that I've got organised again. So thanks for watching, and chat to you soon. Bye bye.